Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Destitution. Noun. Destitute. Destituteness. Complete lack of financial means or material possessions. For example, after the war, many families face utter destitution. Severe deprivation of essential living conditions. For example, the refugees lived in destitution for years. Literary or figurative. A state of extreme deprivation or emptiness in a non-material sense. For example, the poem reflects a spiritual destitution. The economic crisis plunged many families into destitution, leaving them without food or shelter. Charities often focus on alleviating destitution in developing nations. After losing his job, he faced destitution and was forced to sell his belongings. The novel portrays the protagonist's fall from wealth to destitution with heartbreaking clarity. Government programs aim to reduce destitution by providing financial aid to the poorest citizens. The destitute man begged for a spare change outside the subway station. War left thousands destitute with no means to rebuild their lives. She dedicated her life to helping the destitute and homeless. The hurricane rendered many families destitute, stripping them of all possessions. Without a proper education, he feared becoming destitute in his old age. Rare usage. The king's decree destituted the nobles of their titles. Note, this form is obsolete and unlikely to appear on modern standardized tests. Key tips for test takers: TOEFL, SAT, GRE, and GMAT. 1. Usage and importance. Destitution is a high-frequency term in GRE or GMAT reading passages, especially those discussing poverty, social issues, or economic disparities. Destitute adjective is more commonly tested than the noun form in synonym or analogy questions. 2. Likely question formats. Synonym selection. Which word is closest in meaning to destitution? Options: poverty, wealth, confusion, migration. Answer: poverty. Destitute is to wealth as blank is to health. Answer: sick. Testing antonym relationships. Sentence completion. After the factory closed, the town's workers faced blank, with many unable to afford basic necessities. Answer: destitution. 3. Common confusables. Destitution versus desolation. Emotional versus economic barrenness. Destitute versus decrepit. Poor versus physically broken down. Destitution versus deprivation. Extreme poverty versus lack of necessities. 4. Relevant idioms or proverbs. From rags to riches versus destitution, which implies the opposite trajectory. The wolf at the door. Idiom for impending destitution. 5. Test-taking strategies. In reading comprehension, destitution often signals a passage's tone, for example, critical, sympathetic. For analogy questions, think destitution is to resources as illiteracy is to education. Lack relationships.